So how long you going to be in Cambodia?
Oh, okay. I'm going away for 4 weeks. I'm leaving the 3rd of July, won't be back until the end of the month. And I'll be splitting my time between Thailand and Cambodia. My wife and my daughter are in Thailand now. It's good to be them. They get to go for the whole summer, and I get to visit. And when we're, you know, and I'm hoping, and I really am hoping this trip to be able to split it more or less evenly. Obviously, my wife likes to spend time in Thailand because that's where her family is, and she misses them, and I understand. But I have a lot of friends in Cambodia, and I have a lot of fun in Cambodia. You know, I've done any number of cases involving bringing pop stars over and whatnot, and it's always a lot of fun to look them up when I'm over there and hang out with them. But you know, I've been going to Cambodia now for 20 years.
Wow.
No, actually, I remember the first time I went to Angkor Wat. It was January, I want to say '93. But you can correct me on this, because I will tell you this: the Khmer Rouge were so close to Siem Reap, I could hear mortar fire. I couldn't hear small arms. I couldn't hear machine guns. They weren't that close. Right. If they were that close, I probably wouldn't have been there. But you could actually hear mortar fire off in the distance. I mean, the Civil War was still going on, and it was still. In fact, I think Siem Reap fell in March, 2 months after I was there. But I've been going there for 20 years. I have friends. I have people I like to see, and as I say, I'm going to need to go to the embassy probably 3 times this trip, because I'm going to have a number of people I'm going to have to talk about.
Yeah. I will open the line for សម្រាប់អស់លោកលោកស្រីដែលចង់សួរសំណួរដល់លោកវិហារស្កាលនឹងចាប់ផ្ដើមបើកសំណួរឲ្យអស់លោកលោកស្រីសួរបាទហើយ just want to open the line up in case somebody want to ask you any questions.
Okay, that'd be great.
To your tip and regarding to the new immigration policy that you just mentioned on the screen, and so. With that conditions that you mentioned, have you had any clients of yours fell into that category?
Well, as I say, this is a brand new thing, and no, none of them had been clients of mine originally.
Yep.
In other words, I did not do any of their original paperwork. These are all folks who have been rejected and have since come to see me, kind of a thing, saying, now what do I do? And again, you know, when the first person came in and I saw fraud or material misrepresentation, I said, oh my God, you know, this must be terrible. I wonder what's going on here. But then a second person came in, a third person came in, a fourth. You know, I think I've had about 8 people come in the last 3 months, 2 months, 2.5 months, and every single one of them said fraud or material misrepresentation. Every single one, which clues me in that this is just something that they're doing as a matter of routine, and not because they think that these people are especially bad, kind of a thing. So I think I really scared the first person who came in, and I apologize. But now, you know, we're addressing it differently. And I will say that I've been writing to USCIS, and they have responded. I mean, you know, again, it's recent, so the response has been as simple as, we've received the file from Phnom Penh, we have to review it. But I'm glad that they are replying, particularly, and I'm a little bit surprised in the fiancé cases, because usually fiancé cases come back to America to die, you know, and they die quietly. And so to be getting a response on a fiancé case, especially, is something I'm very happy about, because it tells me that we will get a chance to plead our case without having to get too dramatic about it. We're prepared to get dramatic, but it's much easier if USCIS just says, yep, we've got the file, we'll look at it, and we'll talk to you about it. And that's what we're going to do.
I have friends that trying to file a petition to get his wife from Cambodia many times. I failed 2 or 3 times. You know, why does that happen? Even that person has a child together.
You know, it can be a lot of things.
So maybe something you can ask the question to the consul also, maybe.
You know, I've actually been in on such fact patterns, and the consul will tell me that a child is not proof of the relationship. It's not proof that they really love each other.
Oh.
And I replied to the counsel, but it's pretty good evidence. You know, you know, it's you know, I don't know what, you know, how much more you want.
So you should ask
But-
them to have a child. So do you have any proof that you really love your spouse?
Well, you know, it certainly proves that people know each other.
That's right, yeah.
And that they've spent some time together, done some things together. But you know, it's a tough embassy. It really is. And one of the problems is they do a lot of their own background checks. And so sometimes it's as simple as, you know, we ask the, usually it's a woman, sometimes a man, but whoever the person in Cambodia is, you know, some questions, and they just did not seem to know their husband, wife, fiance that well. And the questions can be, you know, pretty obscure. Where does your husband's brother work? You know, questions like that. I got mad at a consular officer because, you know, they had asked her, what temple does your fiance go to? You know, kind of a thing. And I said to the consular officer, you know, he actually doesn't go to any temple. He's not religious. And he said, well, she said he was religious. And I said, excuse me. He said, I asked her if he's religious. She said he's religious. I said, that's a trick question. You know, is she supposed to answer, you know, the love of my life is a godless atheist, you know, who believes in nothing? You know, I mean, they're always going to answer he's religious. That's really not fair. So you have things like that. But as I say, they do their own background checks. You know, I had a case, for example, where when I met with the consular officer, they said, yes, it appears to us that your client, my guy here in Lowell, well, here in Massachusetts in any event, I actually am not sure that he lived in Lowell, but that my client over here, they believed was still involved with his ex-girlfriend. He wasn't, but she had never established a new address. So when they did their background check, the only address they came up with for this woman was his address. So they decided they must still be together. And what's amazing about that, to me, was that they never gave this guy the chance to respond. They never asked him about it, and they never asked her about it. Of course, I don't know what they'd ask her, but meaning the fiance. But if I had not gone to the embassy, he would have just kept reapplying and getting re-rejected, kind of a thing. So you have situations such as that. Sometimes, by the way, they go to the house of the person in Cambodia and, you know, and look around for pictures and whatnot. One of the first things I do when a client comes in is I go to their Facebook page, and I, you know, and if I don't see pictures of the wife or fiance, you know, I say we have a problem, and I'm certain that the embassy goes straight to their Facebook pages, and if they don't see, you know, the other one in the Facebook, that there's a problem. So, you know, you have to be careful about these things. I mean, I was talking to one client. He says, "Look, I haven't posted anything on Facebook in 6 months." I said, "Yes, but but during those 6 months, you went to Cambodia, you saw the love of your life, and you posted nothing." You know, you've got to, you know, that's probably at least part of why you got rejected.
ចូលដល់លោកវិសាស្កាលគាត់ចេញចូលស្រុកខ្មែរយើងជាង20ឆ្នាំមកហើយគឺថាគាត់មានមិត្តភ័ក្តិជាច្រើននៅឯប្រទេសកម្ពុជាហើយគាត់បានធ្វើការដំណងយ៉ាងជិតស្និទ្ធជាមួយស្ថានទូតអមេរិកផងដែរហើយបងប្អូនលោកលោកស្រីណាមានចង់សំណួរអីតាក់ទងនឹងដំណើររបស់លោកវិសាស្កាលឬក៏មានករណីណាដែលបងប្អូនចង់ដឹងសូមអញ្ជើញទូរស័ព្ទសួរគាត់ផ្ទាល់មកបាទលេខទូរស័ព្ទនៅក្នុងកញ្ចក់ទូរទស្សន៍ហើយបងប្អូនលោកស្រីថាបាទហើយយ៉ាងទីគាត់ថាបងប្អូនចង់សួរអីគឺថាសូមសួរផ្ទាល់តែម្ដងទៅបាទសូមអរគុណច្រើនហើយ I got somebody text me ask me want to ask question to you.
Okay.
That's how it is. So what is your ultimate goals in going to your trip?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of personal goals, obviously, as I say, my wife and daughter over there.
Besides going to see
in terms of the embassy, in terms of the embassy, I mean, it is good to meet with the consular officers.
The new ambassador also.
Well, the new chief counsel.
Right.
One of the things that I like about July is that's when they change the chief of the visa section.
Okay.
So one of the things
every year.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Every 2 years. In fact, every council rolls over every 2 years.
Okay.
So the people who are there now will be a completely different crew from the people who were there 2 years ago. And so yes, the old chief will be leaving, and this will of course be the chief who created this fraud or material misrepresentation policy. Don't think we'll miss him. And a new chief will come in. So part of it is just to meet the new chief and get his attitude on things.
Yes.
For example, one question I'm always asked is what's better or what's the difference between a fiancé petition and a marriage petition? And the answer to that question really depends on how the chief counsel feels about the two. I met with one chief counsel, and he said to me, look, I know what my people have to do to get a marriage certificate in Cambodia. He says, I do not feel the need to subject U.S. citizens to that. And this is not a behavior that we wish to encourage in the government of Cambodia. Okay, so he was telling me as far as he's concerned, a fiancé petition is absolutely as good as a marriage petition. He treats them exactly the same. Then the new chief came, and he was rejecting fiancé petitions over the place, and I spoke to him about it. And I asked him, about fiancé versus marriage petitions. And he starts telling me, he's basically reciting the rules, about the problems with fiancé petitions, kind of a thing. And I told him what the previous chief had said, and he just smiled. And of course, and I understood the smile. Look, I'm the chief counsel now.
Right.
Okay, I don't care what the previous chief counsel said. Okay, this is my policy. I will say that the most recent chief clearly did not like fiancés, although he didn't seem to care much for marriages either. But I can see that he's been rejecting a lot of fiancé petitions, and I look forward to asking the new chief what he thinks about fiancé visas, or she.
I hope
thinks
you have a
about
good trip. So
fiancé
we have
visas.
a few more minutes left. I just want to make a final announcement to our audience. បាទសូមអញ្ជើញម្ដងទៀតថាសូមលោកសាវណ្ឌិតនិងក្រុមគូសាសូមអញ្ជើញឲ្យលោកស្រីបញ្ចូលរួមមន្តទុកជាមួយលោកក្រុមគូសាដោយភរិយារបស់លោកគឺអ្នកស្រីខីសុគន្ធិបានធ្វើមន្តកាលកាលពីព្រឹកថ្ងៃអាទិត្យកន្លងទៅនេះនៅឯមន្ទីរពេទ្យ Brigham and Women's Hospital ដោយរោគគាពៀតបាទថានៅទីរំកល់សពនៅថ្ងៃទី22នៅឯដុលជួនហមពីម៉ោង2រសៀលទៅដល់ម៉ោង5ល្ងាចបាទម៉ោង3រសៀលគឺដង្ហែសពទៅកាន់វត្តពលរិយៈហើយថ្ងៃច័ន្ទទី23ខែមិថុនាម៉ោង7កន្លះព្រឹកជួបជុំពុទ្ធបរិស័ទម៉ោង8ព្រឹកនៅដង្ហែសពទៅកាន់ជាបណដ្ឋាននៅឯ Linwood Cemetery in Hyderabad ហើយក្នុងដែរគឺថានៅវត្តត្រៃរតនារាមនឹងរៀបចំអភិសេកចៅអធិការនៅថ្ងៃទី21គឺថ្ងៃសុក្រយើងសូត្រមន្តហើយឆ្លងកិច្ចមិនហើយបននៅថ្ងៃទី22ទៅថ្ងៃសៅរ៍បាទនៅពេលព្រឹកបាទក្នុងនេះគឺជាដំណឹងសូមជូនអស់លោកស្រីជាពុទ្ធបរិស័ទចូលរួមបានកកនៅពិធីអភិសេកបច្ចៅអធិការវត្តត្រៃរតនារាមនិងផងដែរសូមអញ្ជើញចូលរួមនៅការចូលរួមទុកជាមួយលោកសាវណ្ឌិតដែលជាប្រធានខ្មែរមនុស្សចេតនាទូទស្សន៍បាទនៅថ្ងៃអាទិត្យទី22ហើយដង្ហែថ្ងៃ23បាទសូមអរគុណបាទ You have any final words for our audience?
Actually, I do. There were some other issues I'd hoped to talk about. I will be posting on my website, attorneyhaskell.com, and on my Facebook page some things I've written. There's been a lot of case law that makes it a lot easier on criminal aliens who face deportation to get their convictions vacated and whatnot. And for people who are interested, I will be posting on that, or they can contact my office. Beyond that, it's always great to be here. I really appreciate you having me.
Thank you, Luis, and have a great trip, and hopefully you have a successful trip. And ថ្ងៃអាទិត្យទីខាងមុខនេះចាប់5គឺលោកមករៀបចំធ្វើពិធី រកថវិកាដើម្បីពង្រឹងនៅនៅគួយដើម្បីឲ្យលោករកអនជបាយទីនសម្ភារៈក្នុងការមើលតាមដានព្រំប្រទល់ខ្មែរនៅតាមជុំវិញប្រទេសកម្ពុជាបាទសូមអរគុណបាទទៅសុស្ដីបាទចំចប់ហើយ